Are online courses dead? Is the market too saturated? Is AI making online courses obsolete? Are you too late? Did you miss the boat? These are honestly great questions to be asking yourself before you make your online course. Obviously, you want to be making meaningful, strategic moves without wasting time and effort. I was curious as a web designer of Kajabi templates, which is a platform for online courses, coaches, memberships, that sort of thing. Did I hitch my horse to the wrong wagon? What's the state of online courses these days? So I did some research to find out. And here's a spoiler alert. I don't think online courses are dead. In fact, I think they're just beginning to find widespread adoption and traction. And I would even argue that right now is the perfect time to create your course, but the landscape is changing, especially with AI. So in this video, I'm going to go through exactly why, what the research says, and what I personally would do to separate my online course from the rest. Hey, if we haven't met before, my name is Erica Pruitt. I'm the owner of Gold Coast Creative, where I offer premium Kajabi templates. If that's something that interests you, I'll stick a link in the description below. All right, let's chat online courses, because there was definitely a time when simply having an online course made you stand out. Back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, when online courses were just starting to be a thing, they were relatively novel and new. For reference, I looked back and I bought my first big online course on blogging in early 2017. Now, of course, courses aren't as novel anymore. Information is pretty researchable, but I think that this is good because instead of people buying courses because of the novelty factor, they are more selective and purchasing courses that are high quality. So even though people have access to YouTube, podcasts, online workshops, newsletters, AI like Claude or ChatGPT, and even though it's a more crowded marketplace and people don't need more information, they do still need clarity. They need someone to simplify the process. They need confidence in where they are spending their time and making sure they're doing the right things in the right order. And at least I want a trusted expert to lead me through the process to solve my problem. Here's a quick example of this because I think it will help. I wanted to get an indoor tree for my living room. Actually, it's in this space. I'll see if I can show you what it looks like here without messing up my setup. So I researched using ChatGPT what would be a good indoor tree for this space. We chose a ficus tree, and I should let you know I am a terrible black thumb. I don't know what I'm doing. So I've been talking to ChatGPT not only about the purchase, but how to take care of this tree. I then find out that it is infested with insects in the top branches that I couldn't see when I was buying this tree. And now I've been sending AI photos of this tree to try to diagnose the right products in the right way to help make this tree healthy again. Of course, it is getting me mostly there. Did it also super stress out my tree and possibly almost kill it? Yes. Here was the tree when I bought it, and here's the tree now. As you can see, it's like working, but it is super frustrating. And I would 100% pay someone to help me know exactly what I should have done and shouldn't have done and lead me through the process correctly. I think someone that is an expert in this sort of thing in indoor tree care probably would have laughed at all of the things I did when I was following ChatGPT's orders because they know that all of those things back to back would have stressed out my tree. I'm newbie, so I had no idea. All to say, AI exists and does solve some problems, but it doesn't solve all of people's problems. People, I think, are happy to pay money to mitigate that risk or to prepay the ignorance tax. All right, now let's check out the data. Are places like Kajabi, Teachable, School, are they growing or declining these days? All right, the global online education market hit $203.81 billion in 2025 and is projected to reach $279.3 billion by 2029. The US alone accounts for $100 billion of that. The creator-specific slice is even more dynamic. Goldman Sachs says that they project the broader creator economy to hit $480 billion by 2027, with online courses being the highest margin vertical in it. So no, I would not say that the market itself looks to be dying. It looks like the industry is split in between two worlds. So you have this highly commoditized market of like Udemy and places where people are expecting to get quick information in a very commoditized way for courses that are like $20 to $40. And then the other world of independent experts and creators that are setting their own prices and making their own products, whether it's online courses, memberships, coaching, or a hybrid of all of that together. Okay, so if this is becoming more widely adopted and more commonplace that people would want to buy online courses, how do you separate yourself from the pack? For what it's worth, I would tell you what I would do to attack this. First, I would reverse engineer, if that's even the right word, of what is currently missing from AI. What I would consider deeply, what am I looking for as a customer when I purchase a course? For me, a course that includes basic general overview information or steps that I can get from talking to ChatGPT or Claude is not very valuable to me anymore. I can easily go back and forth with AI to come up with a pretty good solution. However, I would say nowadays people don't want general problems solved generally. They want specific problems solved entirely. Do you remember my indoor ficus tree? I wanted to learn, and I still want to learn, how to solve that problem entirely and specifically. I don't want to take a general course on indoor tree care. That's too much and I don't really care. So how would you do that? One way to attack it is through mini courses. I would say that it would be a great solution. It would also add more products to your product line. The other thing that is really nice about these shorter courses is they create achievable wins and build trust between you and your customer. Think courses that are easy to complete and give me a very clear outcome. So something that I would be interested is like in a mini course that shows me exactly how to design my living room. So instead of an entire course on how to renovate my house or an entire course on how to style my entire house, I would think I just want top to bottom one specific room. I want to know, where do I buy my couch? Where would you not buy your couch? How do you think about fabrics when you look at a couch? What about rugs, the different types of rugs, where to source those rugs? How would an interior designer attack something like that? I would love a mini course on how to weave a foraging basket. You may think I'm crazy, but I don't want to necessarily become an expert in weaving, but I would love to know how to make one specific product as an activity with videos and materials that I could purchase. I would love to know how to make a spiral tapered candle. I don't know if I want to start a whole candle business, but I would love to buy a course that shows me how to make a specific candle that is very on trend right now. Here's some examples of this. Floret Flower does a lot of free mini courses that lead to their larger premium courses. So how to plant from seeds, cut flower garden mini course, their rose cutting tutorial that shows you how to propagate roses through cuttings. Here is a sandal making workshop through Crafter. It has a very clear outcome. If I buy this, I'm expecting to have homemade sandals by the end. It's super cool that it also includes materials for the workshop itself. A side note, and this might just be my personal observation, but I feel like there is this resurgence and interest in handicrafts and making things by hand, at least between my own interest, and maybe this is just my season of life, but anything where I can spend time making things by hand would be a niche or an area that I would 100% see courses doing really well in right now. So think embroidery, knitting, candle making, leather working, anything that allows me to learn from somebody and I can really benefit from watching videos of how they do it and those expertise of the craft that I cannot get through just reading through a ChatGPT response, but really need to watch somebody and how they would attack it, how they would approach it with their expertise. And then I get to have the benefit of making something with my hands or making something with my daughter or my son or something that we get to benefit and enjoy around the house. All to say, if that is something that you're an expert in, I think there might be a market for that right now. All right, lastly, another example is this dyeing and eco printing workshop done by Dogwood Dyer. It teaches how to dye with natural dyes, specifically by making plant prints on fabric. Very niche, very specific. This course itself, just for perspective, has no community. It's just pre-recorded videos with a material list and informational documents and a Q&A at the end. Claude or ChatGPT is not going to give me the level of expertise that I would get or expect in getting a course and watching somebody else who is an expert in their craft and knows exactly what to purchase. All right, another way to attack this to be able to create an exceptional course in today's market is to actually include AI in the end product. So you could create a custom GPT or AI builder that is built on your expertise, on your documentation, on your course information, your product list, your resources, etc., and then gives people customized results based off of your course knowledge. This allows them to use your exclusive GPT or AI builder to reach their goals. So a great example of this is Melanie from A Look Behind the Scenes. She's an expert in apparel sourcing and manufacturing. She has a premium course that helps people start their own fashion brands, and she built Garmentio, I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it, which is a custom fashion AI assistant. So every day you get a 15-minute prompt. Over the course of 12 weeks, the prompts will take you from validating your idea to physical samples ready for production. So she leverages AI to get people the results they want easier and faster, and she actually uses it to help people move through her course. P.S. If you're curious how you would even go about building a custom GPT, that is something that I've done before. I have a video where I show how you can use my custom sales page writer to be able to write your sales page fast, and that is something that uses my own documentation that I've created as a custom GPT. And if that's something you're like, how do you go about doing that for something like that in your course? Just let me know in the comments and I will consider making a future video about that. All right, other things you can do to stand out in today's market to make your course valuable. Highlight and teach what you've only learned through experience. AI in general cannot relay what you have learned through hard experience over the years. It's just true. So I personally have taken web design or graphic design courses throughout the years, and some of the most golden nuggets for me are things that another business owner was telling me or talking through with me through their own experiences of working with difficult clients, how to price certain website projects, things that you want to talk through with another expert in your field. Brainstorm everything that you have learned only through the years of experience in your business or craft, and then make sure that you are including that in your course and highlighting that in your sales page. On a similar note, product sourcing is something that I personally find very valuable, and I would argue that that is something that can differentiate yourself based off of what industry you're in. I want to know exactly what the experts use and not have to do all of the researching myself. Similar to the example that I gave earlier with the living room, I am currently helping my mom do the interior design on her dream house that she is building, and I cannot tell you what I would pay to have someone like Jean Stouffer of Stouffer Home and find out her go-to tiles, her favorite paint colors, where she buys rugs, what are her favorite fixtures. You get the idea. An equivalent in my industry of graphic and web design, fonts are a huge part of design. So font and image sourcing is something that is like a secret sauce to designers, and they don't often share their sources. So I have all of my own favorite fonts, and those types of products would be very valuable to share in a course, and people would be willing to pay money for. Lastly, AI and the internet is missing personalization. I often get frustrated because I need a custom solution for my problem, or I have very specific questions. So if there's any way to incorporate done-for-you elements in your course, I think that would be very valuable for our customer. So think of like a 1-hour consultation, or voice text, or Voxer, or Slack, or a pre-recorded video. Anything where a person can get any sort of personalization or specific questions answered includes a lot of value in itself. So this could even be an add-on option, or honestly what I would do is just sit and think through how to make that customer experience special and also the most successful. Is there a cool opportunity there to be able to set yourself apart or to make your course more valuable, even if it has a higher price point added to it? I love the idea that you could even ask your community with a bunch of different options what they would find valuable or what would be the most helpful for them. All right, a quick recap. Ways to set your course apart in today's landscape. Possibly consider adding mini courses to your product line. Leverage AI to make your course more custom and more effective for your customers. Highlight and extract nuggets from your own experience. The value and the beauty is in the details, and that's what people can't find or have to learn on their own. Make sure that you are leveraging any product information that you know that would make it easy for people to accomplish what they want to do or make. And then also think of creative options to offer consultation or community or customization to your course. I will seriously consider buying a course just because I want that specific expert to answer a specific question that I have. And that is the only way that I can figure out how to get that question answered. So is there a way to have a private community, a personalized action plan that you give them at the beginning, a 30-minute add-on consultation, a personalized video for their circumstances based off a questionnaire, anything that gets very specific questions answered and allows people to talk to you or to others in a cohort, I think adds a lot of value in today's market. All right, I hope this was helpful. And if you want to know how I would go about structuring your course and organizing it, I created this video here that goes all the way from brainstorming to created in Kajabi, so you can check that one out next, and I'll see you in the next video.